Wake up and let's go to the Mindless Morning Show.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mindless Morning Show. I'm here with my co-host Dakota, as always.
Yes,
because he likes his name to be said now.
Yeah, we established that.
And also with us, we have a very special guest, a good friend of a friend of mine. We have who's also a flight attendant and a sports PR consultant, Keyon Johnson. How you doing today, man?
Good, man. How's everybody doing out there?
Oh, another day in paradise.
Hanging in there.
You're coming in from Vegas, right?
Yes, sir. It's hot. It's hot out here, brother.
I was just about to ask how the heat was.
Today it was actually one of the better days. It didn't get in the 110s. It was just like 107, 106. So that's that feels a lot better than it does before.
Didn't get to 110s, but it was still like 106, 107. I'm like, man, that still sounds terrible.
Yeah, I'm really hoping you don't have the humidity Florida has.
Oh, no. I used to live in Florida, man. I used to live in a city called Sunrise. So it's down in right outside of Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay.
It rained literally. I knew when I was late for work because it rained every day at 2:00. It just came down. I was like, when that rain started coming, I was like, man, I'm late today. So
it's 2:00.
That humidity is real.
Yeah, it's really weird. We have our typical Florida rains. It like monsoon for 5 minutes and then clear skies.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was. Yep. Now, are you guys are in Orlando-ish?
I'm in Orlando. Dakota, he's in a whole other state.
Yeah, I'm in Kansas.
Oh, okay.
We still have humidity here.
Hey, Jayhawks or
I just moved up here about a year ago with my girlfriend, and she actually went to college to both of them. She went to K-State and KU, but I think she likes Jayhawks better. So yeah, I would say Jayhawks as well because I got friends that I grew up with that were big Jayhawk fans.
Okay, yeah, my wife's family is like pretty much all Jayhawks. They're in a city called Shawnee, Kansas.
That's exactly where I'm at.
Oh, you're in Shawnee? Wow, that's crazy.
That is really crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I was expecting you to say somewhere close to me, and I was like, oh, dang.
Shawnee, and it starts with a B to another one, something city, like B City or
I know there's Bonner Springs.
Bonner Springs, sorry, Bonner Springs, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I remember that one because I always laugh at it because I'm immature, childish.
Yeah, no, I get that. I laughed too when I first heard it. I was like, what the heck? Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We'll let everyone decipher Bonner is actually boner. I mean, so that's really cool, man. So tell us, what's it like being a flight attendant? I'm terrified myself of flying, so you just it's got to be like third nature to you, or second nature to you.
It's actually, man, it's pretty cool, man. I really like it. I feel like I get paid to go visit my friends all over the country. So, you're one day you're in Kansas City, the next day you're in Orlando. And, sometimes you have 20 hours to stay there. So, when I get there, I phone my friends and they come pick me up, show me the city. We'll grab some stuff to eat over at either Gates or what's the other one they told. Gates is the one that yell at you, the barbecue place out there in Kansas City. And then, or if we're in, Fort Lauderdale or whatever, wherever we're at, we go and, go grab something to eat or go hang out and chill. And these are relationships that you've had for years. I probably haven't seen these guys in 10 years, 11 years, somewhere around there. And it gives you an opportunity to go and, kind of see the world, places that, you probably haven't seen in a long time. Yeah, right now it's a little crazy with the state of the world with COVID and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess like the hardest part about it right now is just kind of making sure people are being safe by wearing their masks and stuff like that. So you got to make these announcements like, hey, keep your mask on, don't take it off. Luckily, I haven't been one of the people that's got punched in the face, so I'm kind of happy about that.
I was gonna say, you one of the fun flight attendants when they do the speech, try and make people laugh, or you just get through it?
Sometimes it kind of depends on the mood. Like sometimes I'll make a joke, and if people get it, then I'll probably try to make another one. Other ones I'm like, all right, well, that didn't work. But nah, man, it goes with your personality, I think too, because if you're cool, if you are like relaxed, then that kind of leads a tempo for everybody else that's getting on board. If they see somebody coming on board and you down, or maybe you're not having a good day and it's showing that you're not having a good day, well, that's going go towards the passengers, and then now it could potentially be a problem where if you'd have just been cool, it would have it could have made it a lot easier. So like I said, that's probably the hardest part right now, man, is just kind of dealing with that.
Yeah, for sure.
I have probably flown a handful of times, and it terrifies me every single time.
Is it more like the turbulence, or is it just the fact of being 40,000 feet in the air? So
I'm so thankful that I have never actually experienced any kind of crazy turbulence people talk about where they're like, we felt like 40 feet or 400 feet down in the air. I'm like, oh, what? Like, fuck that. Like,
yeah, what?
Like little Timmy went through the roof. Dude, I don't know. Like, I thankfully never experienced that. It's just like me. I like the ground. I'm perfectly content on the ground. I'll go by car. I'll go by boat. But I don't care too much to take to the skies. Now, if I was like a superhero and I could fly, okay.
Yeah, you can control all of that. Then.
Yeah, that's a whole different game. And that's probably the only way I'd fly. But other than that, no interest.
So speaking of that, have you had any like crazy turbulence or any stories along the lines of that where something crazy happened? Have you ever thought you were going to die on a plane flying as a flight attendant?
To be honest with you, I have not. Let me knock on some wood. I guess
I can't believe
I've been pretty lucky, man.
I'm sorry.
I hope not
there, Dakota.
That's my bad. I'll take it back.
Yeah, I definitely hope not to. I mean, we've had some turbulence before to where it's like, let me put this seatbelt on, but luckily it hasn't been anything like too crazy to scare me away from doing it. You know what I mean? A lot of times, man, the crazy part is, when it's super turbulent or when it's, moderately turbulent, you still just see people getting up, walking, trying to go to the bathroom. I'm like, y'all better sit down. This stuff is, because if it hits the right thing, they can, float up, hit the ceiling and knock themselves out. And, for me, I'd be like, man, we told you to sit down.
There's nothing worse than turbulence except for going through turbulence and having to take a poo.
Oh my God.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Turbulence.
You got a decision to make on that one.
Yeah, for real.
You got a decision to make. Like, can I just sit there and hold this and wait till this is over, or you?
Excuse me, Captain. How bad is the turbulence going to be?
Dude, if we're hitting turbulence, I'm not waiting. I'm going right there, right there in my seat.
There it is.
It would have scared me. I can't. I don't know. There's a few times you go through the clouds, and it gets pretty shaky. It's like, wait, what was that? It's like calm down. It's fine.
There's a dragon outside.
Yeah, you can see it, man. Yeah, especially nervous flyers, man. They are. It's kind of funny, but it's not funny at the same time because you're like, hey, man, I don't think we're gonna fall out the sky, man. So y'all can just chill, but they don't, man. They just stick around and
Do you guys play games or bet on people when they're walking in? You're like, that's the nervous one.
Man, you don't even really have to play the game. You can see it. Everybody can see it when they walk on. Like, oh my goodness. They'll let you know that I've never flown before. All right, cool, man. Just have a seat, sit down, and relax. That's all you got to do.
Have you ever had to kick anybody off the plane?
I have not. No, I have not, man. Like I said, some people are really, really into doing that, man. I'm not. I just let, unless they are, and this is hypothetical, unless they just come on and they really just belligerent or just acting a fool or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll be like, man, just get sit down and enjoy yourself, man. Don't mess with any other passengers. Don't mess with us, man. You good? We got an hour and a half together, man. Sit down. Let's get you to your spot.
Yeah, we can do this.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound so bad, but man, that even like an hour and a half flight, like from here, from Florida to New York, terrifies me. Like I'm 6'3", so like first off, the seats do not accommodate tall people, and I'm like already feeling slightly claustrophobic, and I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan. Everything is just like torturous right there. I'm that nervous one. Like I'm in my mind, we're about to fall this guy any moment. So like I brace for impact.
Back in the days when we was doing alcohol, I would have probably just like, you know what, man, take this margarita or something. Take this drink, calm down a little bit. Take a nap. Take a nap. You'll be all right. By the time you wake up, you'll be good.
Yeah. No, I've tried pre-gaming in the airport while I wait.
No, it still didn't work.
Nothing.
Like the second we start like rolling, it's once we get ready to like hit that hard straight and lift off. That's when I'm like, all right. That's when I start clenching. Like everything's getting tight. I can feel all my muscles tighten up. I'm like clenching to the chair or like whoever's hand I can grab. And yeah, I love looking out the window though. It's fucking cool. Like it's cool seeing it. I'm still terrified.
I don't know, unless you're flying through a storm. I've flown through a couple of storms back to Colorado, man. It was like thunder and lightning everywhere in the clouds and just rain. I was like, I'm gonna shut this. Like,
Colorado, man. Denver always has something going on, man. It's never like a good flight. Like it's a good flight, but it's never like just a smooth, easy. Like
leaving. Anytime I left, because that's where I was before Kansas, was out in Colorado. So anytime leaving, it was fine. It was coming back. You always dealt with something coming back.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Always something in Denver. Man.
Yep. Every time.
Well, there is something evil about that Denver airport, so you never know.
Dude, it's that horse. It's the horse with the red eyes that's just sitting like, man, dude.
That comes out of nowhere too. That comes out of nowhere.
Dude, the guy that started it died. It crushed him while he was like originally doing it. So his son finished it. I was like, I don't think it was meant to be made, man.
Yeah, that's it. You see, it didn't work.
Dude, and DIA's got those crazy conspiracy theories and everything too about it with the underground, man.
All the New World Order plastered everywhere.
Bro, some of those paintings, they're for real there. Like I've seen some of them too, like underneath. Oh yeah, no.
Are you talking about like in the airport on those? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man.
Like not a lot of people pay attention to that, but I'm like, wow, this looks kind of dark over here.
People just walk by it every single day. Oh wow, look at that.
It looks kind of dark. I was like, what the heck does that mean? But yeah, it's crazy. Denver is something else.
Unique stuff there for sure. So what are like some of the craziest stories? Have you ever like had somebody give birth on a plane? Like anything insane?
No, I haven't seen that. I've seen like people like get really sick and like pass out. So then we have to like administer CPR and stuff like that. And I don't know if you guys have ever done CPR, but that is not an easy thing to do, man.
I've trained for it numerous times, but I have yet to do it in real life, thankfully.
That, especially on somebody who just threw up.
Yeah, dude, no thanks.
The whole thing, man. You kind of keep like compressions on their chest, and then you got to give them oxygen, and then you get. I mean, that's tiring, you know.
Yeah, dude,
that's really tiring. And sometimes you're doing it for upwards of 30 minutes. So it's like three people just kind of rotating in, doing it and stuff like that, man. Yeah, that's.
I'm more impressed with you guys even being able to perform CPR with such a narrow pathway.
Yeah.
You know what's really kind of crazy is just how, because normally you think that you would kind of freak out. You know what I mean? You think that you see somebody gasping for air or passing out, and automatically you think like, oh God, I can't do this. But it's crazy how your body just goes into help mode. Yeah. And you get there and you just kind of doing it. And then afterwards, after the person comes to or whatever, then the adrenaline wears off, and that's when you actually get scared, and you're like, oh, I can't believe that just happened,
I blacked out for the last 30 minutes. What happened?
Yeah, like it's crazy how, I mean, but there have been stories of, folks actually like, expiring on the plane, and then, you can't really call it expiring on the plane. You got to wait till they get on the ground. So even if you know that they're not with you anymore, you still got to kind of keep doing it until they land. Damn. And then EMTs come on and they'll pronounce it then, but you can't really do it. You're not a doctor. You're just a flight attendant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, man, that's like some of the scariest stuff that I've either witnessed or have heard about.
I feel like I already know the answer to this one, but I know somebody has to ask it. Have you ever had snakes on the plane?
I have never had a snake on one. I mean, we've had like.
I would have never thought to ask that, honestly.
Yeah,
no, I've never had a snake on. We have a lot of crazy animals, man. They, with these emotional support animals. They like.
This is my emotional support.
Somebody brought on like a little baby horse.
What? As an emotional support animal?
As an emotional support animal, yeah.
They're like riding it the whole time. Here's your seat. I don't need a seat. I have my horse.
Yeah. You just sit them in the front row, and now other people got to sit in that row with the baby horse. Man, it's crazy.
That would have made. You know what? I needed an emotional support horse.
I was like, this is my emotional support badger. Be careful, he bites.
That's when I'll fly.
Dude, that's
some
ridiculous.
People would just slap the little thing on the back, the little coat, and it's like a pit bull just barking at folks the whole time. Like, I don't think that's really an emotional support animal, but you can't say nothing. The folks let them on. So,
dude, that makes me think that Scooby-Doo live action movie where they snuck him on the plane as the old grandma. That makes me think it would have been able to get away with it now. Like, that was realistic.
No, man, it was. You wouldn't believe the type of animals and stuff that came on. I think I even read like somebody brought on a peacock one time. So yeah, right. It's crazy. Look it up, man. You'll see it. It's crazy.
I believe it. I know there's those people that go and get license to give the licenses out for just pay me some money. I don't care. I'll sign the paperwork for you, and like that's it. So.
Wait. You're telling me that when they came to school for the job fairs, that one of the jobs was to go and become a person to license emotional support animals to people? I could have been doing that this whole time.
It's a lucrative business, apparently.
Like, where was this?
It sounded like they could get some good dough on that, man.
Right? I feel like I would have been good at that. Like, kid comes in, he's like, I'm having some bullying problems at school. Here, I got a llama for you. He'll spit at people for you. He'll be emotionally supportive. This is going to be great. Next.
Llama.
Let me bring on this emu.
Yeah.
Dude, emu. So, fun fact for you guys, at the theme parks, those giant ass turkey legs are actually emu.
Don't tell me that. I don't want to know that.
It's still delicious.
No, it's a giant turkey that I'm eating.
It's not a giant turkey leg. It's a giant emu leg.
Dude, I'm not eating an emu. Stop it.
I'm not.
I'm gonna have to say that next time I go. I'm like, man, that's an emu leg.
That's the emu. The guys
That's
gonna,
an emu leg.
they're gonna kick you out.
Just say it's an emu leg. People will still eat it.
Yeah, depending on who you talk to, because like there was one time somebody thought I was working at one of the stands because I don't know where everybody that was actually working the stand went. I was working on one of the icy machines, and they're like, "Hey, is that actually emu?" And I was like,
What?
"Yeah, yeah, it is." And he's like, "I knew it," and he just like walked away. And like it was just okay, like whatever.
Babe, you're eating emu. I told you.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Still good.
Oh, dude, it's so good. Like
I'm gonna say it's turkey still and enjoy what I want to enjoy. All right.
Yep.
Do you, man? You do you. Well, I mean, I'm very happy to hear that all your flights have been very good so far, and I know
I'm knocking on wood right now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry Dakota spoke that out there.
Dude, nobody even knows what you're talking about. I took it back. Nobody remembered.
So, but no, that's good. So tell us more about this sports PR consultant. This sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, man, that's actually what I've been doing like my entire like adulthood from college, man. I graduated from Grambling State University in Louisiana, and then went over to undergrad in PR. Graduate, I did sport administration, so it was kind of, I kind of knew what I kind of wanted to go. And then back in 2001, I got a call from the Houston Texans. And to be honest with you, man, at first I was like, I've never even heard of the Houston Texans. What is that? And but this was before the team started.
Okay. I was like,
yeah.
what?
So, yeah,
Right,
they didn't really start playing until 2002.
Yeah.
So they had called and they was like, hey, we seen your resume. We want to bring you down to interview you. So I was like, okay. I was like, all right, Houston. I like the city of Houston, to be honest. Houston was a great place. And I said, when I get out of college, I would love to go to Houston.
Was there like any moment in your mind right there that was like, this isn't real, this is a scam? Houston Texans, what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly. I was like, man, I never even heard of these guys. So I quickly looked it up after it, and I I was like, oh, this is for real.
It is real.
Okay. And so
Nice.
so I went down there because I was in California. I went back to California because I was doing an internship out there, and they called me when I was in California, and they said, yeah, we want to bring you down and interview you for a position that we have. It's an internship. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I go down there, and it's funny. It was right. Speaking of flight attendant stuff, it was right after 9/11. So I go, I fly from San Francisco to Houston, and it's literally like 7 people on the plane. And I was like, wow, okay, this is kind of scary. And I get there, I'm interviewing with the managers over there, and literally, man, it was like, again, if you guys can remember that time, everything was so tense, and in the office building that I'm interviewing with, the alarms just started going off. Like they just. Yeah, they start going off, and now I'm looking around at the manager. He's looking at me like, what's going on out here? And I was like,
it's like you know about this? You're like, bro.
Yeah, I was like, is this real, man? What are you doing? He's like, man, we gotta go. So like the interview was like maybe 5 minutes, and then that happened, and then so we just left. And he called me later. He was like, you know what? I want to bring you on. I want to hire you. And I was like, I don't even know what I did, but
the way you handled yourself during those alarms, man, I'm bringing you on.
I was like, man, I was just as scared as you was. I didn't know what was going on either, man. But I guess we had to get out of there. I was a little bit faster to getting out than you were, so maybe that's what it was.
Nobody ever beats me.
Yeah. I was like, man, I'm not trying to fall victim to that. And so that it started there, and then so I got in there, and one thing that I think is important, I've always kind of think is important, is you got to kind of network, and you kind of got to know where you want to go and what you want to do. And so in doing that, you want to try to meet as many people as possible. Now, the internship that I got was in ticketing. And so I was like, okay, this is, it'll get me in the door, and I'll see where, meet the folks that where I want to be. And so I was there for about a year. And during that year, it gave me time to meet like the VP of communications for the Texans, and the whole staff, the whole organization. Bob McNair, who was the owner of the team at the time, and he was actually, man, a really cool guy, man. He just like I'm just an intern there. And he's coming up, hey, Keyon, how you doing? And I'm like, oh man, this guy really knows my name, But of course, you run like $1 billion company, you're gonna know everybody that's coming in that building. But it still kind of made you feel like, okay, at least I feel like I belong. Right. So again, I just kind of like, made my way through, introduced myself to Tony Wiley, who was a VP of communications there, kind of told him what I wanted to do. And the crazy thing about that, he had ended up going to, he was a graduate of Texas Southern University, which was a small HBCU in Texas, in Houston. And I was at from Grambling. So we kind of connected with that background, so we kind of got close, and he was like, hey man, if you want to come over here after you get off work with the ticketing and come kind of learn what we're doing over here. And I was like, yeah, no brainer. This is what I want to do. You giving me this opportunity. I thought it was cool. I was like, man, yeah, I'll do it for free. And so I started going over there and kind of learning the nuances, and now I'm meeting players. We had drafted David Carr, his brother. Yeah. we had drafted David Carr, so I'm getting a chance to like meet him, and he was like the first pick in the draft. So I'm seeing like how these guys work together, and now I'm meeting like big time media people like John Clayton. I don't know if you guys remember him. Oh yeah, but he was on ESPN. So I'm like, now I'm getting to be like really close with these guys, and kind of they're telling me like, awesome. Oh, Keyon, we need to talk to David for an interview. And I was like, okay, so now I got to go get David, kind of tell him what the interview's about, bring him over to John Clayton, and like it's just me doing this now, like and I'm only doing it after I get off work from doing the ticketing job. Okay. And
you were like that guy in NBA 2K when you play the My Career mode and you finish a game, the one that like comes over and is like, hey, you had a great game tonight, we want to have an interview with you, blah blah blah, and they like take you over to the other people.
Yeah, they take you over there. Yeah, that's okay. It. Yeah, yeah, that's nice. It.
Dude, that's dope.
Yeah, so man, so I did that with those guys, and then they didn't have a permanent position there. So Tony introduced me to this guy named Kirk Reynolds, who was with the San Francisco 49ers. And so he's like, all right, well, we have actually a season-long PR internship if you want to do that. And I was like, yeah, why not? I get a chance to go back home to the Bay Area. So I went and did that with them, and they had like a great team over there at that time. They had just came off the NFC Championship game When Mariucci was a coach, and then by the time I got there, they had brought on Dennis Erickson, and so I'm getting a chance to meet these guys now. So now I'm like still kind of building up my network. And so after a while, I stayed there for like a couple of years, and after a while, I was just like, you know what, I can kind of go out on my own and still, utilize these contacts that I have. And instead of just being tied to one team, I can, reach out to this team over here, this team over here, this team over here, and just kind of work the way I want to work. And the teams, I went out, I like pitched myself, and they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. So yeah, like, all right. And like literally, man, I just started working for those guys. And then I did the Warriors as well. Actually, when I was in Houston too, I started working with the Houston Rockets too. So I was, just trying to get my name and my face and, my presence out to everybody. So if somebody said, oh yeah, we're looking for a guy. Oh, well, Keyon has done this. Keyon. So, you build up your resume like that, and you learn to get along with everybody. That's the main part about the PR job. And in general is just, how are you going to be able to get along with all these guys and interact with all these different personalities, and then in turn get these personalities to do what you need them to do to get for the betterment of the team or for the betterment of whatever it is you're pushing out there. And that's what I kind of had to learn to do, and that kind of helped me out in going through all the stuff that I'm doing now, and that actually helped me out with the flight attendant stuff too. So it's just about networking and talking to people and basically just showing respect for other people and their time and what they need done and what you need done, and how can you gel it all together.
Man, that's awesome. Has there ever been a time, I guess, that you like been awestruck or like had to resist getting an autograph from somebody? Especially like first starting out doing it, man. That'd be the toughest for me, meeting all those guys. That is the toughest, because now you like, oh, you go from like not knowing anybody until now you seeing like like I ran into Ronnie Lott. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta ask this dude for a picture, but then you can't ask him for a picture and you can't do this stuff. So you just kind of like, all right, let me just push all that down and kind of continue to be professional. And so, and that actually helped me out a lot too, because at times you're like, oh man, this would be a cool picture to have with this guy right here. Hey, what's that over there?
Yeah. Selfie. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's you have to kind of resist that temptation, because you don't want them to start looking at you like, oh, this guy's just a fan, just a groupie. When they're about business, man, those guys work really hard to be the best in the business at what they do. So they expect the same from you, and that's what you got to deliver. So that's it's kind of tough. Now my kids, nowadays, my kids will come, I'll bring them, and they'll be like, oh, let me get a picture, and they're happy to take a picture with those guys. So,
the kids don't even want to come. You're
like, so it's not for me, Yeah, let the kids do it.
Yeah,
there you go.
What sport were you like into before all of this? Did that lean towards the decision at all of like where you went first off, or?
Yeah, I was. I've always been into football, man. I've been playing football since I was, young, maybe like second or third grade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, ended up going to a high school that was really good. I mean, like we were like the number one high school in the nation for like 12 years. It's a school called De La Salle High School in Concord, and like they actually even made a movie about our high school, man. So it was cool. We went. So just kind of sticking with football.
It's like, you ever seen the movie Remember the Titans?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Check it out, man. When the game stands tall, that was if you look at that movie, that was my high school.
Nice.
De La Salle and Concord. But they like that experience there too, man, was kind of crazy because I went there my junior and senior year, and my freshman and sophomore, I went to a very another good football program. Wasn't on that level, but it was still like really good. And the year that I went over there, to De La Salle, my high school, which was Pittsburgh High School at the time, beat De La Salle. That was the first time they had been beat in 7 years prior to that. And then so just imagine coming from the school that beat them, going to the school now. So it was kind of crazy. And it was a Catholic school. I knew nothing about being Catholic at all. So I'm learning all type of new stuff. I'm going into an environment where at Pittsburgh, it was much like a melting pot of everybody. You had black, white, Filipino, Asian, every type of race that was around was at Pittsburgh. And I go to De La Salle, and it's like I said, it's a private Catholic school. So it's literally just like 97% was white, and then like 3% was others. So I'm going like, oh my goodness, let me see how this is going to work out. But again, man, everybody was cool. Everybody like accepted me after they was like, man, you from Pittsburgh, you beat us and stuff like that. I was like, well, shoot, I'm here now, man. Let's go out and get it.
Yeah. And
after that, man, we again went on to win 12 straight years. So that was pretty cool, man. That grew my love for football. So I think that's what kind of had me going on that level. And then again, went to Grambling, which was a HBCU like right after that. So I had like 3 totally different sides, because Grambling is a black school. Like it's normally like maybe it's like 98% black students, and then like 2% others. So it went, going from totally different dynamics on each one.
Yeah, it's like,
I think kind of helped me out, because now I feel like I can interact with any group at any time, and feel comfortable,
Yeah. Nice.
So, and I think that's kind of, that's really important too. You know what I mean? You got to learn other cultures. You got to learn other backgrounds to kind of progress forward. So.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's the beauty of America. We are the melting pot of so many cultures. There's so much out there to learn. Do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you work with the Las Vegas Raiders now, right?
Yes, sir.
So you've been inside the massive spaceship stadium.
I'll email y'all over some pictures that I had from last year. Actually, we just had a tour of the stadium yesterday.
Okay.
And kind of just again kind of getting ready for this upcoming season, which starts on Saturday. The first game is Saturday, so we'll be over there, and this will be a little different. I really call it, man, the first time that they're going to play in the stadium, because now they're going to have fans. Last year, It was cool. It was a great venue, but nobody was there. Like, it was so weird. I don't know if you guys seen it on TV or something like that, but just to watch a game with no fans.
It was the same for the NBA, man. It was weird.
It was weird. Like, you can literally hear the players on the field, and you're all the way in the press box. You can hear them talking and like cheering for themselves. You know what I mean? It was really weird.
It was really funny when they started putting like the cardboard cutouts.
Yeah.
Because it was like, holy shit, it's like the EA made a game with such high quality on the game itself, but said fuck it on the team, on the audience there.
Yeah. Then they added the digital where you have all the different fans at home on the screens and stuff. That was pretty cool.
The one thing that drove me nuts though about watching games with no audience, they still put like somebody's still manning some type of like audience track.
Yeah,
you hear it go, ooh, like hype up as things are going on. Like, Who's sitting there manning this dumbass?
It had to be normalized for the players still.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. So I'm actually really looking forward to Saturday, just kind of, seeing how Las Vegas is really going to, like, the city itself is really going to embrace the Raiders. I say the Raiders are in a tough situation because the Vegas Golden Knights came here and they won
immediately.
Quickly. I think the first year they went to the Stanley Cup, So
we're not going to talk about them here.
Oh yeah, I see you. I see it. Yeah, so it's a crazy situation. I feel like they got a lot of pressure to go out and perform at the highest level to at least make the playoffs. Because
I'm a Raider fan. I've been a Raider fan my whole life. I'm originally from California and grew up watching them because of my dad. So I'm following all over. But I was gonna ask you, since now you're doing stuff with the Raiders. And before you were doing stuff with the Texans when David Carr was around, how was that being able to do stuff with David Carr and then now Derek Carr?
It's so crazy. I was just telling that story the other day, man. So when Derek Carr was maybe 5 or 6 years old at that time.
He was always around.
He was like a little kid just running around.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking, I'm like, wait a minute, dude, now you the quarterback of the Raiders. It's crazy how to just kind of see that progression. I mean, I'm proud of the dude though, man, because I think it's more of the fact that I seen him when he was a little kid,
right? And
now he's at least a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, and he's he's raising kids of his own now. So it's a crazy cycle of how this thing went, man. I seen your brother. Now I'm watching you do it.
Yeah, I feel like not many people, especially in your position, get to be that close and see that happen. So that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a good situation, man. It's crazy. And then also got a chance, as fate will take it, man. Got a chance to work with still work with the Warriors as well. And it went from the Warriors being horrible until now they're they were one of the top teams. They won 3 championships, and I was a part of the team working those games when those guys win the championships, and you can just kind of tell you see teams that are good and you see teams that are great. Yeah. And you could tell the work ethic and the confidence that those teams have when they step out on the field or step out on the court. If they're going to be good or they're going to be great. And every time the Warriors stepped out on the court, it wasn't a fact of, is this going to be a close game or not? It was like we got one goal, and that's winning the championship. And they set out to do it, man. And it was like nothing could stop them. Well, the last 2 years, of course, they've been injured, and when KD left, that hurt a lot. But I think they'll be back.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, how's Steph Curry? How's Klay Thompson? Are they all really nice? Those
dudes are solid, man. They are really cool, cool cats, man. Very approachable. Draymond is a little edgy. He's real though. He'll talk to you. He'll talk to you, and he'll clown around with you if you're joking. You joke.
What about
Klay is the same, but Klay's a little bit more goofy. But he's cool though, man.
Is KD reserved, like he seems like he is, and quiet, or?
When I met KD a couple times, he was always solid, man. Always just cool, and he wouldn't take any mess, but he was he was like, all right, man, just a real nice dude. He comes from his mom instilled a lot of good values in him, man. So he's
I remember his
very
speech.
Respectful. Yeah, very respectful guy, man.
That's cool.
You kind of forget that they're that young though. Still though, I mean they're still 30 now, but to me it seems like these are little are kids,
right?
But yeah, man, just speak with you with the utmost respect, and that's pretty much it. They're solid dudes.
That's awesome. That's good to know. Good to hear, especially like as an NBA fan or stuff. Like you always hear these stories about them being different than what you want to hear and stuff like that. So it's always cool to hear like how humble and stuff that they are. So that's good.
Is that a Clippers shirt you got on?
Yeah, I'm a Clipper fan. I've been a Clipper fan my whole life, man. When I grew up out in California, I was a young lad. I was always Clipper fan, man. That Elton Brand, Corey Maggette, Sam Cassell days. Katino Mobley was my shooter. Yeah, I love those teams.
I tell everybody, man, y'all just got my son.
Oh yeah?
Not really.
Yeah.
There's the Keyon Johnson that he got drafted to the Knicks, but now he got traded to the Clippers.
Oh yeah, that's
so
right.
I always say, that's my son that he never met me before though.
I'm rooting for you, son.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you, man. Go ahead, do your thing.
Just go to one of the games with the big old postcard. I'm your father.
I've been looking
maybe when they come to San Francisco and do it when they play the Warriors, man, I'll say something to them about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
all right. So since you got all this inside expertise, who you got winning the championships for NFL or NBA this year?
Oh, there you go. That's
so. Full disclosure, I am and have always been a Tampa Bay Bucks fan.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard for me to go against the Bucks.
It's tough to go against them right now, anyways.
yeah. But I really see another rematch of last year, man. I think that Kansas City, they just got way too much firepower, man. They'll be there. The Bucks, I think the Bucks will be there. You just can't count Tom Brady out, man. So
I like seeing Tom Brady off the Patriots. He's got way more of a personality and is having a lot more fun now.
Yeah, it looks like it, man. And and then he got his boys down there with him. So
man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be those two back in the bowl, and I just can't go against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. So I think
it just never goes away, man. He never goes away.
Yeah, what is that? He definitely sold his soul to the devil to play football.
No, this dude's like a year younger than me, man, and still just out there killing it. Like,
well, that's what I say about Chris Paul, man. He made a deal with the devil to be one of the best point guards, but he can never win a championship. That was the deal.
Yeah. I was rooting for them too so bad this year. I was like, man, come on, man, y'all gotta do this.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Giannis had other
he's just a beast,
ideas.
Man. He's just a beast. That guy is built different.
Yeah. Now, if you were starting your team, would you take Giannis as your first pick now?
If I was
everybody that at the age that they're at now.
That's tough for me because I've always played the NBA seasons on the video games and done the GM stuff. And my instinct is always to pick one of the top young players in their early 20s, 18, 19, 20, 21, because of all that potential and how much time span you have with them.
Yeah.
But if it was real right now and I had it, it would be hard not to pick him, man. Especially just what he can do. He doesn't even need to shoot the ball. It's crazy.
We got Josh. Who you starting with?
I'm not even gonna lie. I have
Josh.
Yeah,
he's got nothing.
I could tell you the last time I watched basketball was when everyone was so ashamed of Dwight Howard coming into the Magic. And quite honestly,
into the Magic,
yeah, man, into the Magic.
It had to be 05, 06.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
Back, I think I was still in high school.
No, because here's the thing: when I was a kid, my dad growing up, he would watch the Orlando Magic, and so I'd go to those games and I'd watch them and And it was cool. You know, I liked being there. The atmosphere was cool. And yeah, shortly after, Orlando just sucked. Like, sucked.
Yeah, because they
ass.
lost. That's because they lost like everybody after that. Man, Hedo Turkoglu retired.
And then lo and behold, Dwight Howard comes, and dude, he's making them look good. There's a few others that I forget, but
that was his peak, man. Dwight Howard, that was when he was the best. Was with his Orlando Magic days.
Yeah, and that's been it. So after that, I mean, I know who Yao Ming is. Yao Ming's pretty dope.
I agree.
Yeah, no. And the only other people I would know is anyone from Oklahoma City. So like Harden, the big beard guy. And
do you think he's still on Oklahoma City?
No, I'm sure they move around everywhere.
I was like,
constantly,
because I'm pretty sure the three you're about to name aren't there anymore.
Yeah, probably not. No, I can't even remember the other two.
Harden, Westbrook, and Grant.
Westbrook,
Westbrook.
Westbrook. Yeah, because he was small, but man, he can get around. He can get around good.
Yeah, he's a Laker now.
Yeah.
Durant's a Brooklyn Net, and Harden's still on. No, he's a Net.
No, he's with the Nets too.
Yeah.
Durant's on the Olympic team now, isn't he? That's who I got.
Now he's been on a couple times, but yeah, they just won gold.
Nice.
Yeah, we need to have an episode where we just talk basketball and let you talk.
Oh yeah, no, you don't want that.
Awesome.
You don't want me talking about basketball, man. I know so minimal. I've been called a waste of height because being 6'3".
Yeah, but like
people expect you to play basketball again. I don't know.
You would have just been a point guard if you played point guard, shooting guard. Realistically,
I have fun playing it like at the gym or like at like the YMCA yard, whatever. But I never liked doing it when I had to like train hardcore and like to actually play against other teams and stuff. Like I just like it for fun. I don't like it competitively because I suck at it competitively.
See, that's my problem. I was always the one that was like, yeah, let's go and play for fun. And then fun immediately turns into competitive because I'm like, it's not fun unless you win.
I'm going to wipe your face on the court, motherfucker. It's like, whoa.
Well, we said we weren't taking it serious. I'm not taking it serious.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I've had some anger moments with sports. Like I got two older brothers. There were so many times that Ethan and I would play one-on-one and we would just go back and forth scoring, and he would just post me up and score on me every single time. And I would just get to the point where I would just start pushing him because I was like, he just lost my mind. Just like, I'm done.
Drop a couple tears because it happened. That was good. I know that.
Yeah. Hey, I had my share of wins. I was the shooter of our family.
Back. I'm like, come on out here. 3.
Yeah, exactly. I'll beat you in a shooting contest.
Yeah.
Time, but
I always enjoyed playing football more than any sport. As much as I love hockey as like my favorite sport, but I would always be more than happy to play football over hockey.
Yeah.
Football.
I got
hockey, man. Help me out with hockey, man. I'm still trying to learn it. And you know, it's crazy. I actually used to work for a hockey team in Florida, the Florida Panthers.
Oh, nice.
And this was that's when I lived in Sunrise. I used to work for those guys. But man, when I tell you, I could not understand what was going on. It was hard to.
I'm the same.
I didn't make it. Just put it like I didn't make it in hockey, and I was like, man, I tried. I gave it a good go, but man, I just couldn't. I couldn't keep up with the puck. I didn't know like
it's the rules
why they would start fighting. Yeah. I like to watch the fight, but I didn't know why they would start fighting. I would even ask some of the players. I think we had Roberto Luonga at the time. He was like the big time player that the Panthers had when we had, and then I think we got the one guy Bertuzzi.
fucking hate
at that time. So I was like, no, well, why do you just start fighting? Like, what causes the fight? He's like, sometimes we just have to do it. And I was like, all right, well, I'll take that out. I'll take that answer. Yeah. I'll take that answer.
You can look up on like YouTube, NHL mic'd up. And I believe they've done this with other sports, but some people will wear a microphone. And if you listen to them trash talk, dude, they sound like hardcore, like those middle schoolers you hear like over the internet when you're playing Fortnite, like, fuck you, motherfucker, dog water, your stats are shit. Like, dude, they talk, yeah, they talk some serious shit on ice to each other, and it's absolutely hilarious. And sometimes they get fed up, like, because they're sitting there throwing jabs at each other constantly, almost every puck drop. Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get it, bitch. Like, just something stupid. And I think that builds up the tension, but also sometimes they have those players that they call scrappers. And it's to start a fight, to instigate a fight, to get their good player to want to fight, or to rile them up a bit, to like kind of throw the game off, or maybe change the tide of how things are going. Whatever the case may be.
The kid that's not good at the sport whatsoever, he's just there to foul the other team.
No, dude, there's some scrappers that are really good. Like, they've gone on to like take on more prominent positions on ice, but yeah, there's some that'll really whoop ass.
All right.
It's the best, dude. Like, hockeyfights.com. It's the best.
Can't say you don't have me looking at that one.
Oh, no.
Dude, they have some intense ones. I can't remember the name.
There's been some crazy hockey fights for sure.
I can't remember. It's like a really, really old school one that, dude, he would just wail on people. Like, he had this, like, he would like quickly punch back and forth like so fast. Like, it was insane. Just annihilate people.
That reminds me, I'm waiting for the documentary to pop on Netflix for the Malice at the Palace one that they're going to do. That's the one I'm
waiting for. The Ron Artest one?
Yeah. I think wow. Yeah, it starts tomorrow on Netflix, I thought.
Okay. Now that's another thing to look at.
I know. I was excited to watch that one, so that reminded me of that.
I remember watching that game. I watched that game on TV and saw that happen. I was like, "Oh, this is crazy."
Fill me in.
Yeah. He leaves the court to go into the stands and starts like wailing on the fan because of a bunch of shit that happened and went down. Because what was it? They were like throwing stuff at the players like on the court.
So what happened was
it like five or so chairs back? Like, this guy just like leaped over and like destroyed the guy. Okay, I've seen the YouTube video.
You've probably seen the video for it.
Yeah. But one dude just came, like one fan. They were in Detroit, and they were playing the Pacers. I don't know if it was a playoff game or what, but the guy just came. Ron Artest was actually like one of their good players on the Pacers on the opposite team. And he did a hard foul on somebody on the Pistons. And so he just went and he laid down on the scorer's table, and somebody came, like a fan came with like I don't know if it was a slushy or something.
Yeah, it was something like a beer or icy or something.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. He threw it right in his face, and then he like backed up to go away. And then Artest just goes through and he just boom, and he socks him. And then like the crowd just kind of come and they start fighting him. And so his teammates just come out of nowhere and just start. It was like a brawl, like 7 NBA players, 8 NBA players fighting like the whole palace in Detroit. Yeah, it was crazy. This documentary, I'm excited.
That's why I'm excited for it, to like get the depth of it and everything. It's gonna be a good one. It'll be good.
I think he got suspended for like a year and a half or something like that.
Yeah, it was quite a while.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I think it was. If it wasn't a playoff game, I thought it was towards the end of the season because I thought it had like meaning or something for the game. But I don't know. It was one of the craziest ones for sure.
Yeah, I remember watching that like, oh my, I can't believe this is happening. Like, it was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely been quite a few fights in sports that are dangerous, man, because these are powerhouse athletes that I really wouldn't want to be punished by one of these guys. So like, yeah, that's because I mean, I think actually boxers, I think they legally register their hands as weapons.
They can't get in a fight with anybody. Mm-hmm. Like if they can, I mean, they'll lose their license, and then they can go to jail. Yeah, you know what I mean? Their hands are like deadly weapons. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy to me. That's
so crazy.
You could these bad boys, yeah, they're registered.
All right. So as somebody in PR, what about I can't remember who it was. He was on the Cleveland Browns a couple years ago, and he scored that touchdown on Monday Night Football and like went over and did the whole like pee thing and butt scoot or whatever on the floor, and everybody was all upset. But then he ended up getting in a like sponsorship for those dude wipes.
What?
It was like the running back for the Cleveland Browns a couple years ago before they were like good again, and they were losing, and he scored a touchdown and just like went wild, and like I think he either like used the football to wipe his butt and then chucked it into the stands or something. He did something ridiculous, and people were all upset about it. And then it was like 2 or 3 days later, it was like so and so signs like 100,000 or whatever with dude wipes, and they sponsored it because he wiped his ass. I was like, as a PR person, man, what kind of work would you have to do that?
Yeah, damage control.
Like
that is, that's something that's kind of like you're like, okay, this is just crazy. You'll kind of try to nix that story as fast as possible, because what is it really doing? He signed a contract, or if he did sign, I didn't even hear about this.
But I want to look up to see who it was real quick, because
I would just try to, if anybody asks questions on that, like reporters and stuff, I would instruct them, just like, that's we have no comment on that. A lot of stuff that you can say is like stuff like that.
Isaiah Crowell.
He was from Alabama State too.
Was he?
I think he went to Alabama first, and then he went to Alabama State. I remember that. I remember him, but I don't recall him doing that.
It was he was on the Jets, not the Browns. It was the 2006 or 2018. He got fined $13,000 and then got an endorsement. Got an endorsement from Dude Wipes.
You made the most of it then.
Dude, that cracks me up. That is hilarious. He's got a good PR guy.
Yeah, for real.
I'd be like, man, yeah.
Have you ever
or I would say, you got to make some money on that and say dude wipes as much as possible.
Dude, that shit's ridiculous. Yeah, that's what he did. He wiped the football on his ass. Like,
dude, if you're telling me I could just like get down and wipe my ass on this floor for $100,000 sponsorship, bro, I'll do it.
All I'm saying is that, man, the high school job fairs were missing a bunch of stuff that I could have been making money on.
Yeah, they brought all the really boring way. It's almost like you guys watch The Office?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where they go to the job fair and they're trying to sell a paper company, and Michael Scott's just being a total tool to the guy Justin. That's exactly what those job fairs are like. Some of the most boring thing, basic too.
My dad wasn't allowed at the job fair because of how crazy his job was.
Yeah, nothing outside of the box there. That's weird.
Going back to a crazy story. It's not a crazy story, but this is probably one of the things that we'll deal with as PR people, especially like sports PR people. A lot of times you'll get players that are in contract years and stuff like that. And publicly they don't want to talk about it, but that's all the media wants to talk about is, oh, are you going to sign back with the team? Especially if they're a really good player. Are you going to sign back with the team? Or what are your plans? And then, the person or the player don't want to be a distraction. Told y'all that to lead up to this. So when I was with the San Francisco 49ers back in 2003, we had T.O., Terrell Owens. And you guys know who T.O. is. So
I don't know about that.
I do, because he actually had a show, and that's only what I know.
You were going to say because of that. God damn it.
Full disclosure, one of the coolest people I've ever worked with. Like the rep he got was bad, but that guy was super awesome. To this day, he's super cool. I always
liked him. Man. I always liked you.
So it was his contract year, and I was assigned to him because at the end of one game, I can't remember which game it was, he got voted Player of the Week, and so we had this reporter come through, and so it's my job to kind of facilitate the interview. So T.O. was doing no interviews at all, but he got this Player of the Week award, and they had to do the interview. And so I go up to the reporter. I'm like, hey man, look, we got T.O. to excuse me. I said, we got T.O. to agree to do this interview, but literally, please just only talk about the Player of the Week. Don't go into anything else, because that's not what he agreed to. Mm-hmm. And so me, again, I'm an intern at this point, and I have to get this all set up. And I honestly, I'm gonna talk to Kirk today and just see if he did that on purpose to me. He set it up, and he was like, "Well, Keyon, you got that guy. Go get him on the interview, and you got to let him know." So I was like, "All right." So the guy, the reporter, he's going through these questions and saying, "Oh, how'd you feel about the game? What did you, like just basic questions about being Player of the Week." And he was like, "Okay, well, good. Thank you for all that." And he was like, "Well, but we still have one more question." And I'm looking at myself like, "Oh, I know this guy's not about to do this."
This is it.
And he says, at the end of the season, you're going to be a free agent. And then T.O. just looked straight at me, right? And I was like, all right. And I was like, hey, sorry, T.O., I got to take you back to it's time for you to go back and get your treatment. So I had to basically cut the interview because I knew where the dude was going with the questioning, right? So I cut the interview. I was like, all right, T.O. So I walked him back, and then I walked back out to the reporter. I'm like, dude, what the fuck you doing? What are you doing, man? Like, you just kind of try to make me look bad. And now I got him looking at me like he can't trust me to, put him on interviews and stuff like that, which is,
right.
Is huge because that's your job. If you can't get them to do it, then they're going to look to replace you, Yeah. And so as I cut the interview short, I had to go up and I talked to my boss, and I was like, hey, I cut that interview short. Now I'm an intern, and these guys are like the news beat. He's on this beat. So I had to tell him, like, look, man, I had to cut his interview off because he went into asking T.O. about the free agency stuff. And then my boss just starts laughing, and he's like, all right, good job. And then he's like, it's cool. And so then I walked back down to the locker room, and T.O. is still in there, and he was like, hey, Keyon, come here. I was like, all right, no, go over there. I immediately like, dude, I didn't know he was going to do that. I told him. And he was like, nah, man, I appreciate you doing that. Said, you good with me from now on. If you need me to do anything,
that's dope. Just
let me know, because I know you got my back. And then I tell you that to tell the story. Like, that's what this job is about, man. You got to sometimes you got to be cool. And then sometimes you got to make those tough decisions, man. And you don't know where it's going to go. They could have been like, nah, man, you did the wrong thing. We don't need you here no more,
Yeah, I mean, reporter T.O., I'm going to choose T.O.
Yeah, you had to. I mean, this dude was – and man, I'm telling you, at that point, it was T.O. was like the man in the Bay Area. And next thing I know, I'm getting invited to like his parties and like he's having like, renting out clubs, and he's like, "Oh, Keyon, man, you come in, bring your brothers, bring your friends." I'm like, "Oh, all right, I'm on my way." You know what I mean? So it like the crazy things can turn out to be like awesome at the end, though. You know what I mean? So it was a good experience for me to do that and get that under my belt. Now, now it's easier for me to do that. I'm like, oh, nope. Yeah, we ain't doing that interview, or you know what I mean, or no, we can't do that, man. I don't,
Damn.
Or if it comes down to it, we need it. I'm gonna really monitor you, man, and you just stick to what's there. If it goes off board, I'm cutting it, and then they know that you'll cut it. You know what I mean? Right. So they kind of stay in their lanes.
That's so.
Cool. Yeah, man, it's funny how it happens.
How has COVID gone and changed all of the process for you and what you do?
In a lot of ways, I normally just deal with the media. So my job is still going as normal. I mean, we got to do more protocol stuff. Like, we have to show our vaccination card now to go into the stadium, wear the mask, and it's a little longer. But as far as me doing work, I'm still going, still talking to players, still getting, still making sure the media gets whatever they need and they want to get their story. So my job actually has not changed a lot. I'm going to see this year with the fans coming back, how different it's going to be, because I'm still not sure of how that's going to work. I'll know more on Saturday after these games, but I don't anticipate it being like it was pre-COVID, and I definitely don't think it'll be the same as it was last year, where there was a limited number of fans, limited number of media folks in the press boxes and stuff like that. So, the social distance and stuff we'll have to see, and it last year a lot of the stuff like after the game, the post game interviews and stuff like that, they were on Zoom. Well, I know this year they're going back to in person. So I'm kind of leery of how that's going to work, because I know they don't want everybody up in the player's face. You know what I mean? Right. So are they going to have them? I'm just kind of curious to see how that's going to go.
They're going to give you a giant plexiglass to hold in between the two of them while they conduct the interview.
I talk directly into the plexiglass.
Roll them out in like a bubble.
I mean, hey, you gotta do what works, I guess. I mean,
man. So I got a random question. Back to the Raider. Do you deal with tickets at all for the Raiders?
I do not. I do not.
I was gonna say, my dad and I have been looking and trying, and they have been sold out, man, since like I don't even know, since day one of that even like going on sale. So I was gonna be like, any secret ways to get tickets?
they are ridiculous, man. I would say now, even if you could get to buy a ticket, you'd have to sacrifice a kid or something like that, man. Those tickets are crazy. I think
I've got 4 free to sacrifice. I've been saving them for this moment. So I'm just kidding. Anybody out there that thinks I'm serious?
I mean, you could always whore yourself out for tickets, dude. I mean,
for the right price, for the right seat, I guess I should say.
Just start an OnlyFans.
I turned to my OnlyFans for a Raiders ticket.
I've seen the cheapest ticket I've seen was like $3,500.
$3,500.
It was ridiculous. I say come back in a couple of years when the nostalgia of Allegiant Stadium wears down, then it'll be it'll be more reasonable. But yeah, now, man, everything is crazy. It's crazy expensive.
We're gonna have to see him at Arrowhead Stadium, I guess. Dang.
Yeah. I mean,
I say
how's the games there? You've been up?
I've never been to one still.
Oh yeah, that's right. You said you just got down there.
Yeah, that's one I've never been to an actual NFL game. I've been to MLB, I've been to NBA, MLS, but yeah, for some reason, anytime I was a kid and we went to a football game, I was doing something else. I guess I don't know. So
don't.
I said my wife's family is from there, and they swear by the Kansas City Chiefs tailgate. They say that's the best tailgate.
Oh yeah, that's what I've heard.
That's going down. So
yeah, that's what my girlfriend, her family said, that when we do go to a Chiefs game, we gotta go tailgate because they say it's the best. So
I went to a Royals game out there, and they were tailgating at a Royals game, and I was like, this is baseball.
People do this.
Like, I didn't even know you actually do this for baseball games. But
yeah, man, they're nuts out. They're nuts out here for their sports team, and the Jayhawk. If you go to Lawrence, man, it's just nonstop Jayhawk everywhere. We see Jayhawk stuff people love them. They go crazy.
I actually have a buddy that I used to work with the Niners, who's now like the assistant athletic director with the Jayhawks. And
nice.
You said you've been there for about 2 years?
I've been here a year, almost a full year in like 20 days.
Okay. He was okay, he got there before you then. And he had just started maybe about 2 years ago. And when he first got there, that's when Snoop Dogg came down there, and he brought like, I don't know if you heard about that story. If you haven't, talked to some folks, Snoop Dogg came, he brought like strippers, and it was like this was like their midnight, they do that midnight.
Midnight madness.
And they brought that, and like the students and stuff loved it. But
I bet
they had the the alumni and all these great rich older folks there. They're like, what is going on? And Snoop was like, hey man, when you bring a Snoop Dogg to your campus, man, you go get a Snoop Dogg show.
Who invited Snoop Dogg? I wasn't expecting that. Like, come on.
They wasn't. Yeah, whoever did. Yeah. And I laugh at my buddy. I was like, man, did you bring Snoop Dogg down there? Yeah. You knew what was gonna happen when Snoop got there.
Snoop Dogg watched a bunch of He Got Game, was ready for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that is hilarious.
That's incredible.
It's interesting, man. That was funny though.
Yeah.
Bringing Snoop Dogg to Lawrence, Kansas. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Snoop had a blast either way.
Oh yeah. It was nothing but the smell of strippers and weed in the building, man.
So how, I guess going back to the Snoop Dogg thing real quick, other than like sports people, since you're around that whole like media and that world, has there been any like celebrity, like rappers, actors, anybody that you've got to like meet or had a chance to talk to because they're there in that area?
Yeah. Everybody goes to sporting events, man. Yeah, especially basketball. So you see the Snoop Dogg's all the time. Jay-Z and Beyonce came to the finals game at the Warriors for the Warriors a couple years ago. My wife is a big fan of Hamilton, that play. And all those guys always go to those they go to the game, cool. Especially when it was in San Francisco. So yeah, I got a chance to meet those guys. I'm not a play type person. I can't do all that singing.
Hey, me neither, but Hamilton's pretty good. I'd say that's
what my wife always, she's like, yeah, you gotta see it.
I was sitting there and Jordan sat down and she's like, hey, we're gonna watch Hamilton. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a chance. And we started watching. I looked at it. I was like, wait, it's rapping? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And watched it. I looked at it like 2 hours later. And I was like, that was good.
I'm not
shamefully say I've seen it twice now. But anyways,
all the actors and actresses. And all, I guess they change them up anyway in different places. Yeah. So
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
there's a couple of them have gone on to do so. I watched that Snowpiercer TV show, and the main guy was from Hamilton, the
really?
David Davis or whatever it is, David Diggs or something, I think is what it is. He's he's
I have
two
no
guys
clue.
in Hamilton, but yeah, I don't know. He's good, but yeah, it's a good one. If you do want to check it out, man, I would say that's the one.
I think you know a lot more about it than you're leading on.
About Hamilton, yeah, but not about musicals, man. The only other one I'd want to watch is the Book of Mormon or something from the South Park guys, because I heard that one's really good. And they won a bunch of Tonys, like doing it the first time. That's like the theater world was pissed when they did it because they just like won a bunch of Tonys from other people and had never done it before.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so that would be one I'd see. I've heard it's good.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, shit, man.
I'm a man of culture.
That's good. That's good. I'm gonna have to keep you updated on some other stuff that I'm doing too. Jeez.
Yeah.
You know everything.
Tell us of what kind of crazy cool projects you got coming up, or anything interesting coming about.
I guess another good event that I'm going to be associated with is what we did last year too, and we're kind of moving forward on it for the upcoming year. Is it's again sports related. It's with the NFL Combine.
Okay.
The NFL Combine, they usually have like a certain number of guys. Maybe they'll get like 100 guys from like all these big time schools to go, and they'll showcase their talent leading up to the draft. Well, again, I'm from a HBCU, so they've never done one where they invited kids from like small schools like HBCU. So we actually ended up putting one on last year in Birmingham, Alabama at UAB. And it turned out to be pretty successful. I think we ended up getting 4 guys into the NFL. None of them got drafted, but like literally like right after the draft, teams called these guys. So we're going to expand on that and do it again next year. That's it. I enjoy it because it gives guys that normally wouldn't get a chance to be seen or be picked up that opportunity. And and it's guys that come from the same background as me. They went to small schools, and and it showcases the talent that's there. So that's one thing that I really enjoy doing. And the company that puts it on is ran by a guy named Ulyss Payne, who's he's really really solid, man. He used to be the president of the Milwaukee Brewers, so he comes from like a baseball background, and he's doing football stuff. So
that's cool.
that was pretty. He just he saw the need, he saw the vision, and he's actually one of the guys main guys responsible for getting these kids these contracts. So hats off to him, and and again, such a humble guy, man. He just kind of put up his own money to put that event on. And we had like 41 guys come from like 18, 19 different schools, HBCUs. So
Wow,
that's cool.
Yeah, that was something that was really, really special.
Especially since there's so many stories like in the NFL where you have these undrafted players that come out and make a name for themselves. So
yep,
that's awesome.
That's awesome for sure.
Yeah,
it's always good to throw the bone to the little people too, man. Because I mean, especially in sports, like it doesn't matter where you're from, man. People can have the superior raw talent, no matter where you're from, to just kick ass in sports and be athletic and just anything really.
It's true though. It's always the best to see somebody that does not look like they can play whatsoever, and they just go out and ball out. And you're like, what?
we had to do run like a 4.28, man. That was in the 40, and that's
That's nuts. Yeah.
That was crazy. Like we like literally looked at the clock like 7 or 8 times. Like, man, is this real?
Run it again.
Yeah, you gotta do that. Yeah, he ran a 4.28, a 4.28, and then a 4.31. So we was like, that's
fast.
legit. So yeah, he ended up getting picked up by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Nice.
Yeah. So
cool. That's really
cool. and man, it's crazy.
Nice. So man, I could sit here and talk to you pretty much forever about.
I'm holding back on my questions at this point.
Just because like there's so much that goes into it and so much that you've seen it. It's really unique in the sports industry because I mean, sports are it's a weird, wonderful thing that we have in the world. It's something that really brings everybody together from no matter what. Like some of the atmospheres that are created at the games rather than just like being on TV. I mean, of course, at the parties at home, sure, but at the games, man, the atmosphere is fucking wild.
You can't beat that atmosphere. I mean, being a part of a team and coaching, I mean, I've learned so many life lessons and taught life lessons just being a part of a basketball team. So I always recommend any kids' parents that I talk to, like, yo, get your kid into a sport. Even if they don't want, like, ask them what they want to play, then let them play. Don't force it upon them.
Exactly, yeah. That's what we do, man. We put them in everything. What do you like? Okay, just try it.
Yeah.
And we do it just to meet other people, you know? Like, a lot of these kids need that because, you know, everybody's not social, you know? Everybody, right. You know, and if you're playing a sport, you're kind of forced to because you have to meet your teammates, and then, you know, then you're going to meet from there. You're going to meet the folks that they know, and then guys that you're playing against. So now that, you know, just from playing this one sport, you met like 17, 18 different people, you know?
True. It's so true.
And again, like like I said, I'm a networker, man. My thing is, you know, getting out and meeting people and talking and getting your name out there. And, you know, and I really look at it, and this is something that I've lived with since, you know, since college, man. And I believe it to be true that, networking is one letter away from not working. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that a lot.
So it's something that, you know, it'll definitely help you out if you utilize it, or if you just try it. You know, a lot of people are scared to try it.
Yeah. Again, I'm sitting here like, damn job fairs, man. They didn't teach me anything at school. Nobody said networking.
Dude, like, I don't know like if that's been a quote said somewhere else, and I don't even care if it was, but we do have like a mindless quotes thing. I'm making that, and you're getting the credit for that.
Yeah, put that on there. I like that a lot. Yeah.
And I hope that more people will kind of gravitate to it and just, you know, and really utilize it and try to incorporate it in their lives, man, because, you know, it can really help you out, you know. It can really help you out.
I like that. And I mean, normally I would ask for any last piece of words of wisdom or advice. I almost feel like that was like the best. But I mean, do you happen to have any more words of wisdom that you could give for anybody aspiring to chase such a elusive and lucrative career as yours?
I would just say, honestly, man, just the main thing is to figure out what you want to do, you know, and I think that's the hardest part about living life in general is figuring out what it is you want to do. And then once you do figure that out, create a plan of how you want to get there. You know what I mean? And I do set long-term goals, and I set short-term goals. And then when I say long-term goals, I mean long-term attainable goals. Like, you know, when I ask people like, oh, you know, what are your long-term goals? People are like, oh, I want to make $17 million. Like, oh, okay, well, well, how do you want to, or I want to be the CEO of this company. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, it could happen. How do you plan to get there? Like, what are some steps you gonna take? I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? So, like, I would say, okay, well, just set yourself as first, getting a job at that place you want to own. You know, that could be your first goal. And how do you get that job? Well, you have to do a resume. You know, that's step one. Step two, you got to meet somebody or try to introduce yourself to get an interview with that company, you know? Right. So again, just like set like little goals to where you can, you know, you see progress being made. And once you see that progress being made, you can kind of turn around and look back and it's like, oh shoot, okay, I've already accomplished two of the things that I set out to do. Now that goal that seemed far-fetched is in reach. Right. So you kind of just again keep taking step by step. And sometimes those steps are not going to be straight. You're going to have to probably veer off to the right or veer off to the left sometime, but still keep, you know, everybody's steps could be different. But as long as you are continuing to progress and go forward, then, you know, you'll get there. And, you know, maybe that $17 million goal or that CEO goal, now, you know, 4 years later, you're a manager at that company, or you've reached the amount of, you know, maybe like $1 billion, I don't know, of that 17. So now you see that it could happen. And as long as you are on those right steps to just kind of keep moving, but nothing's going to happen for you if you don't have a plan and you don't have goals or checkpoints to hit those goals. So that's my advice, man, is just to, you know, whatever you want to do, figure out what it is that you want to do, man. If you want to do something in sports, do it. Find some, you know, research people that are in the position that you want to be in. Yep. And you know what? Send them an email. Give them a call. You know, a lot of the numbers that they have are, you know, are easily reachable. Yeah. Shoot them a call, shoot them a text, like, hey, you know, this is who I am. This is what I want to do. I'm trying to see if you got 5-10 minutes to talk to so I can pick your brain. And guess what? 90% of those people are gonna be like, yeah, right. let's talk. You know, and that starts you on the path to getting to where you want, you know, and then they'll probably introduce you to somebody else that can help you get there faster, you know? Yeah. So, you know, don't be afraid to, you know, put yourself out there and really go for what you want. If that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, it can come off as simple advice, but man, it's great advice and it's stuff that people need to hear for sure. I mean, just hearing you say it, I'm like, I do need to do that more.
Sometimes we definitely just need to hear it instead of hearing it from ourselves or telling it to others.
When Josh tells me that stuff, I'm like, yeah, whatever, man, it's fine. Like, exactly. I need it from other people now.
Yeah, and I mean, and to add to that, it's always good to remember the 5 Ps in that the proper planning prevents poor performance.
All right. Well, did you just make that up or what?
No, that's like an old thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I seen it in The Office once.
Is it from like an old cartoon or something?
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot where I seen it. Maybe I was watching this new show called Superstore. Anyway, whatever.
Bring me back to the SpongeBob poop. People eat our patties. That's where I'm at. The mindlessness is coming back.
Yeah. I like how that's the acronym that comes to mind.
Dude, every time people eat our patties.
I'm gonna have to hit up Dan, man, and thank you for getting me on with y'all, man. This has been fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a blast talking to you.
He's going to get multiple messages. So, yeah, no, it was a pleasure meeting you. So great having you on. And, absolutely. Of course, for all our listeners, stay mindless.
Stay mindless, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Mindless Morning Show. We appreciate you picking us out of the many great podcasts out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell to get notified whenever we release a new episode or bonus content. Now go enjoy the rest of your mindless day.